Welcome, everyone, and thank you to our viewers and panelists for joining us tonight. I'm Melissa Scott, the National Marketing Manager for the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation, and I support our streaming community. So thankful for all of you to join us this evening. The goal of today's stream is to create a forum for Foundation streamers to share ideas, successes, and challenges, and grow our streaming community to raise awareness and funds for IBD cures. Um, as we hear from each of our panelists, you're welcome to submit questions in the comments and we'll answer them at the end. We will also share our streamers' channels in the comments. If you have questions about IBD or need support, please contact our IBD Help Center. The contact information is also pinned in our comments. Now I'd like to introduce our moderator for this evening, Michelle Falsey, our Senior Manager of Social Media and Public Relations.
Hi, everyone. It's great to be with you this evening, and thank you, Melissa, for that intro. So now what I'm going to do is introduce our panelists. We have 5 incredible people with us today, and we'll hear from each of them. The first people we're going to start with are Melissa L. and Vince L., and they are a streaming duo. So let's first hear from Melissa. And Melissa, can you please share your mission connection and why it's important to you to encourage others to host charity streams for the foundation?
So I was diagnosed with at first it was ulcerative colitis when I was 21, and then it very rapidly changed to Crohn's disease. And I started streaming as a way to educate and advocate for Crohn's and colitis. And being that I have that connection, I found a lot of resources through the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation. It is an amazing foundation. And so one of the things that I always really wanted to do was to hold charity streams for the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation. And it's a really good way to have that education aspect within our stream, and then be able to also get funds to Crohn's and Colitis Foundation to continue finding cures and treatments and everything like that for those who have Crohn's and colitis.
Thank you. Thank you both for sharing your personal story as well as your why as to why you do live streaming. Vince, we'd love to hear from you and how you use your streaming to create awareness and raise funds as well.
So yeah, it's a lot of what she just said, but I'm here to support her, with everything that we can. Whether it be setting things up or getting the word out. I guess I consider myself the community manager in a way, and I'm trying to talk to everybody and get them into the streams, and if we can get any kind of monetary support, then that's always huge. And then advocating, talking about, our story, and just, kind of being open and honest with everybody, because I feel like that's the only way we can really, get any kind of traction with that stuff. And our community is a big help to all that. They kind of make it so that we want to obviously keep doing this, and they have made it very successful.
Great. Thank you both for sharing. Did I cut you off? Was there anything else you wanted to add?
Just so obviously when you have Crohn's disease or colitis or anything, you're going through it, but we always felt that it was very necessary to also understand that our partners go through it as well. So anytime anyone has questions regarding how it affects him, we always felt that was really important.
Yeah, we kind of share every aspect of our lives together, and it's true more now than ever.
That's really sweet. Thank you both for sharing that. So, Chef Jess, we're going to pivot over to you now. And I would like to hear from you about how you used a special occasion to create awareness and raise funds. So, can you tell us about what that was like, as well as a little bit about yourself and your connection to the mission?
Yeah, thanks, Michelle. So I chose to take my birthday this year and make it a 12-hour charity stream for the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation. Ever since I started streaming at the end of 2020 and discovered charity streaming, I knew I wanted to organize something like that, but I just didn't have the time between school and work, unfortunately. And so at the end of last year, when I finished school, I knew the first big streaming event I wanted to do was a 12-hour charity stream. And I knew that it was for sure going to support the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation because of my little brother. At the age of 14, he was diagnosed with Crohn's disease, and it was a very aggressive form. He's been in and out of remission ever since, and it's been almost 10 years now since he's formally gotten diagnosed. And I remember when I was in college when I found out and I was trying to talk to friends and relatives about it, a lot of people didn't know what it was. A lot of people didn't understand what he was going through. And so I had to be the advocate to say, this is what he's going through. This is the resources, the treatments he's going through to try to prevent any major surgeries to try to go into remission. I have always been advocating for Crohn's disease ever since. And so taking my birthday month and doing a 12-hour live stream, not only to educate about Crohn's and colitis, but raise funds for the foundation was such an amazing opportunity. I'm super thankful for everyone that supported me for that fundraising effort. And I definitely look forward to continuing to do at least an annual fundraiser for the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation.
That's awesome. Thank you so much for sharing that. And it's definitely super relatable for me. I was in college when my sister received her IBD diagnosis. So, obviously every patient's journey is different, but that sense of really trying to quickly create a community when you're in that phase in life is definitely something I can relate to. So thank you for sharing all of that.
Yeah, of course.
All right, so now let's pivot to Thomas. And Thomas, can you introduce yourself, talk about why you stream, what motivates you, and also what it's like to host an annual charity stream for World IBD Day and how you motivate and reward your donors?
Sure. Hi, everyone. My name's Thomas, aka Mr. Warburg. As for why I got into charity streaming and specifically for Crohn's, I was actually first diagnosed in 2001. And for reference, I'm 33 now, so I was 11 years old then. It's been a long time, educating people, because back then, much like what Jess said, especially as a kid, people didn't really know, oh, you can have Crohn's as a kid. And that's become more prevalent and more aware as even I've gotten older. It was definitely a thing, I struggled with, whether it was in high school or in middle school and even in college, having to teach professors yeah, I'm not going to be okay all the time. I'm still going to do what I can. And then I got into charity streaming through Extra Life, which is a one for Children's Miracle Network hospitals. And thankfully, I didn't have to do that. I didn't have to go to one of those hospitals as a kid. But then I quickly pivoted and realized, oh, I can do that for Crohn's disease too. And back when I started doing it, it was 2018 for World IBD Day. They had some old classy fundraising pages, and there really wasn't much Twitch integration for the first couple of years I ran it. And then since then, I found it on Just Giving and now Tiltify as well. So it's been seeing that growth on the streaming side for the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation has been really cool to see. And I'm very grateful for that as a streamer, because it makes it a lot easier. As for the stream itself, one thing I do to kind of get people into my streams and try to get as many eyeballs as I can. It's really the only time of the year I will ever really care about how many people watch my stream. I'm a pretty small streamer, but I've thankfully been able to network really well with streamers bigger than me, and I bring people in and their communities in to bring eyeballs in. We've had anywhere from 5 to 8 individual streamers over a weekend of World IBD Day. We try to go either the weekend before or after, generally 12 hours on each of Saturday and Sunday, at least I try to get. And my big thing that I do is that I do individual wood burnings that we raffle off, and I make them myself, and they seem to be pretty popular. So it's been a fun kind of upward trajectory of seeing the viewership and the fundraising totals go up every year I've been doing it since 2018.
That's super cool. And we're happy to hear that you've been successful with adding in those raffles. So last but not least, let's move over to Owen. Owen, during Crohn's and Colitis Awareness Week, which, by the way, this year starts tomorrow, is December 1st through the 7th, streams as part of a team organized by Crohn's Gamer. So Owen, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and why you chose to join the team for Crohn's and Colitis Awareness Week?
Absolutely. I've had Crohn's since I was in middle school, and it really affected me a lot as a child, much like you just heard. It was a little bit difficult to get through, and I've been in remission since really going on to college, which I struggled for a long time figuring out how I could give back to the community, because I was not going into medicine, not a doctor or anything of that. So one of the things I gained a passion for over time, though, was gaming and streaming and building a community. And as I did that, I learned that you could do a lot when it came to charity fundraising. So I started doing fundraisers on my own channel for Crohn's and colitis because it really has meant so much to me. And I never want somebody as young as I was to go through the same experience I did. Now, doing that, I also networked with a lot of other larger streamers, and I came across a group called Gaming for Guts, which is a group that streams together collectively for the week to be able to raise awareness and raise a large amount of funds to contribute. And it's not only is it an opportunity that has raised a lot of money over time, my channel, the amount I've been able to raise, even just as an individual, has increased. I've raised over $1,000 in total in time. And it's just really meant a lot to me that I can actually have an impact like that. But not only that, there's other streamers who are affected, just like the ones you're meeting today, that band together, that understand what it takes out of their lives, out of their partners' lives, out of their children's life, which actually is the one really massive one for me now. Is I'm a father, and I have kids that are the same age that when I was diagnosed that I now have in my life. And so for me, when I see them, and it has a big impact on why I do this streaming wise, because to me they're the group that I don't want I don't want to have the same experience, and the foundation has the opportunity to have an effect on that. So not only that, everybody I'm talking to and is in and out of the stream, they support one another. They big us up every time they pop in and out of streams. This weekend's going to be amazing because we're going to do things. Oh, and a lot of these folks are based not only in the United States but in Canada, and you meet people who have not only an effect on it here locally at the local level, because I have a lot of friends, family, and people I know right where I'm at who donate. But this has been able to take it off to people who are way out of the regular sphere I would have had to really get in, learn more, and donate. And as an educator outside of doing the streaming thing, it's just making an impact. It really affects me just the same way.
That's fantastic. Thank you for sharing. So while we are wrapping up right now, if anyone who's watching has any questions or wants to connect with any of the panelists you heard from today, we have pasted their channels in the comments, along with a link to our upcoming Awareness Week campaign and Melissa's contact info if you'd like to learn more about how to get involved with live streaming and gaming to benefit the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation. So please be sure to check out our upcoming Tiltify campaigns, including Awareness Week starting tomorrow and continues through December 7th. Plus, we have an awesome thank you gift. If you raise $100 or more during our Awareness Week campaign, you will receive our 2023 Awareness Week t-shirt. For questions or to be notified of our next panel in early 2024, please reach out to Melissa, and we've pasted her email in the comments. If you have any questions unrelated to gaming or live streaming about IBD, you can contact our IBD Help Center by calling 1-888-MY-GUT-PAIN. Thank you, everyone, and happy Crohn's and Colitis Awareness Week.
Thank you, everyone.